Welcome back to Pisces TV with Dr. MB. Let's get started with your reading. Thank all of you for your continued support. If it resonates, please subscribe for more videos. And don't forget to help the channel. Hit the like button. I appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and get started. You have the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck with the World card, the High Priestess, and the Strength card. So this is a big deal. Pretty much. You have 21 to 11. There's some significance in the ones and twos. All right, shout out to all my DJs. I'm a cornball. Chill. Okay. With the World card, you also have the Two of Cups here. This may have some information about the past. It includes thoughts, feelings, subconscious and conscious energy. We're going to go over that. Love that because I like cups and stuff. In the center of the reading, present, consciously, in your waking life, in the physical and subconsciously, you have the High Priestess, the Son of Cups, and the Father of Swords. Interesting combination. And lastly, for the possible future and or advice. Okay, so I said possible future, cool. You have Strength, the Lovers, and the Ten of Cups. So I was, I'm a cup, okay, Pisces energy. I'm excited about this. Aquarius, Leo, Gemini. Lots of things going on here. Pisces for sure. So let's crack it open. The Lovers card and the World card told me about a choice or a decision. I feel like whatever happens in the future may have something to do with the past. The past is connected to major cycles in your life. Incarnation, it talks about completion. With the Two of Cups and the Son of Cups, giving the Three Cups, it also would complement the aspect of celebration and achievement, making time for that. Significant projects in your life. The journey progresses, and it talks about the lessons and experiences gained through the journey, symbolizing a deep sense of wisdom and understanding. As some of you possibly reflect, or someone in the environment, because there could be another, reflects on the challenges and triumphs that shaped the situation, and for someone possibly shaped their lives. Long-held goals and aspirations along your journey could be, in your thoughts. Hard work, dedication, leading to moments of success for this Ten of Cups, which talks about a possible happy ending. Recognizing your interconnectedness with all of creation, because the High Priestess is definitely connected. And the Strength card gives me more than just strength. The sign of infinity. Over the Lovers, when the cards came out, it was like this. So I don't see both of them. Right? I see one. Here I saw one swan. So I think, I might use it as clarifier in the because this is the Wild Unknown deck. In the archetype card, the Lover doesn't have the S and has one swan, and I kind of feel like I might need to whip that card out, and we'll do that. Just let's unpack it and what that means. Okay, now hear me out. Much like many of you, I'm super intuitive, And something that came to mind specifically about the high priestess with the strength card, and this whole two cups, one lover kind of thing, and talking about soulmates, it gave me like this companion that walks along the journey with the fool, invisible if you may, which is kind of like spirit for some of you, and or the companion for your soul, like your higher self, or just some non-physical aspect that is divine and eternal, and it's super dope if you're into that kind of thing. And it, like I said, I'm glad I have something to grasp that helps me to articulate it, like the movie Luna, where the lady off up in wherever she was from had a soulmate that was alive and well in another realm or dimension, right? But in her particular dimension, wasn't present. So I'm not going to say passed on loved one, because it's not someone that in that story they identified that had been removed from the dimension. It's just he was somewhere else and appeared as like this holographic kind of imagery, and they got the opportunity to reconnect, but she had to do XYZ, and it had to be on a certain moon. And it talks about phases and cycles for true soulmates, no matter what the dimension, no matter what's going on in the physical. It let me know that for some of you there is a connection, whether it's with a person that comes to mind when you listen to this reading, or a deeper interpretation where it's spiritual. Okay, so I'm not just gonna force it, but it's there, and I can't deny that. So I hope it was articulated properly to just reach whoever it's for. But I thought it was super cool. While most or some come to get understanding and clarity on separations with relationships and those that we deem to be our twin flames and soulmates, I know that the last thing you want to hear is that your soulmate is some mystical being that's trying to connect with you and is always with you. And, you know, that it's like, oh, okay, I'm single, or wanting love, or trying to work through the process of letting go of a situation where we're both standing our ground on bullshit for what it's worth. I get that, but I didn't want to cheat you or others of the interpretation of something like bigger, grander, and it could be all of you connected, because I've seen it through observation, where you have two people that in a non-physical world up above, right? Because we're talking about up above here, where she also would depict a soulmate in this position, and this energy where there's like the lady and the lion. Some card artists, some creators have even put the lion in a transparent holographic form with the physical lady. So I thought that was dope, and it reminded me of Luna to see that there is a deck with that specific interpretation. I might have to get it, but these two have past life connections, some necessary experience connection, if that makes sense, because of the world card and the 10 pentacles, the 10 cups, and how I counted like 10 little stars glowing right here. And these 10 cups, I don't know why it gave me like judgment is 20, like 10 and 10. Hear me out. And I just felt like what's happening is, I don't want to say necessary, but it just gives me that fate kind of thing. And then we do have destiny here, but fate here, where there is a connection. We got 2 cups. Water does point to consciousness, and a spiritual connection where it is real. there. Now, it being real and playing out the same in the physical realm, it got kind of complicated with this Son of Cups. I'm not going to hold you. So we'll talk about that, as well as the Father of Swords being right here and the Hangman next to him. We're going to talk about that. So anyway, I wanted to express that, where celebration and joy, embracing cosmic consciousness, the integration of opposites, unity and wholesome, beginning a new cycle, could be in the realm for some of you. Embracing the richness of the present moment, and if nothing else, subconsciously surrendering to something that may be physically happening in the present. We'll talk about that. And I thought that was pretty cool. Okay. And that there's some sort of spiritual connection with you and this person, or you and a higher power or whatnot. And this below energy ultimately turns out to be more than you can imagine, but choices are involved in that. Okay. There's a strong emphasis on balancing of energies, particularly the feminine energy and grace. Humility and grace is here, and balancing the energies, where for some of us, subconsciously that's challenging. Consciously, there's some sort of inner knowing and like gut understanding. So you, this person, know, right? They know. And intuitively, even if they don't understand it, or if you don't understand it, the past life connection that you share, the cycles or the repetition or whatever's going on with you guys, there's some sort of awareness. But subconsciously, with the Father of Swords there, struggling to balance that feminine and masculine energy, which could point to, the masculine or shadow aspect of the Father of Swords, who is intolerant, irritated, zero tolerance for sure, stubborn, standing on whatever they standing on. Or it could be you, right? So I just want to throw that out there, which was interesting, because she could be, I don't want to say stubborn, but in a challenging position, the High Priestess could represent an individual who isn't speaking, is unrequited, ain't trying to hear nothing, and is just in observation mode, unimpressed. Same energy of the Father of Swords, not easy to impress. And then with this cup that's coming along, it's not even a court card. So it's like, what? That's see, that's funny. That is so funny that I actually know an air sign that says that. That's crazy. You'd be like, what? Like, it's kind of like their way of explaining how much something doesn't make sense. Or I'm trying to think about when they say it. That's crazy. Like, what? What? You just always do that. So, and silly, don't get me wrong. Because when they get into that energy, I've always tried to coach them off the ledge of being unreachable. Like, of being unfair. So there could be someone in a situation that feels that. Like, hello? And then imagine, like, hello coming from one person and what coming from somebody else. That's crazy. Okay, so anyway. Consciously, in the present moment, guardians of the subconscious, which would be the High Priestess, accessing your intuition and exploring the mysteries. Diving deeper into your subconscious mind to uncover hidden truths, mysteries, and spiritual insights. Now, the Hangman here in the past position, in the subconscious energy, surrenders to the unknown, like the mysteries, because there could be some mysteries. If the challenge is accessing the intuition, this is surrendering to that, and that brings some sort of harmony and balance into an ending, completion, the journey, the understanding, whatever the whole shebang is. Surrendering to the unknown while possibly strengthening the intuition is going to help. I did get the meditation card. Let me see if it's still under here. No, it says a year from now, but it's a good time to meditate came up, where an activation of the heart chakra could help to align the situation, you to your higher purpose, or, this other person or other people, because I know you don't want to hear that, but soulmate could be more than, you have different soulmates for whatever reason, and that's why you see these multiple lines here. Some of you could have suitors to choose from, because our Queen of Wands does have just that. But maybe some of the offers that you're receiving, here's heart, here's head. Father of Swords is very strong in the head. Son of Cups isn't very strong in the heart. A little bit emotionally, but it's not like a strong crossing the finish line sort of energy. It's a pursuit and an attempt, but it's like, do they cross the line? Depends on who they're dealing with. That could be an answer for some of you. And that's practical advice, not going to hold you, because other men have said that to me about men, and I appreciate their honesty and leadership in pointing it out, that a man will do, or a woman will do, what's best for the situation when it's something they want to do. And that alone could help another person in that situation surrender to that. Because I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I'm not going to force you. And it's also irritating when intuitively you know that there's some grander aspect of things. Maybe they're not where you are as far along in the spiritual journey or understanding or the connection to source or with the whole bigger picture. So it's like, imagine having the correct answer, knowing in your gut this multi-dimensional, probably multi-lifetime situation, and then somebody else that's intolerant and possibly stubborn and ignorant to that fact in the physical life. It's like, what do you do? Right? I get that. I'll tell you what I think if you want to ask, but I'll save that for another time for whoever asks me. More importantly, exploring the mysteries. Like I said, diving into the subconscious energy. This could represent what's in the subconscious. So those of you that resonate with that aspect of it, when we get to the Father of Swords, we can kind of talk about that. The High Priestess honors feminine wisdom and emphasizes the importance on that. I don't know if a dominant alpha energy of the Father of Swords does that. And I could see where a change in heart or thought pattern, decision making, or just somebody's change in suitors, right? Could be a question. Do I take a soulmate or someone who knows the importance of what may be important to me or this situation? But the High Priestess encourages the seeker to embrace their intuitive nature and trust in the guidance of the inner voice. Now, for some of you, that's challenging for someone in this situation, possibly. The deeper appreciation for the mysteries of life and interconnectedness of all things. This is the interconnectedness of all things. This could be somebody resisting that. They're going to struggle with it. Tell you that. Because sometimes, most often, it's bigger than us. But they got a pretty big card, or you have a pretty big card here, subconsciously, in this destiny thing, which involves your or their activity in fate. Fate kind of looks good, but I was trying to understand the stuck or the hangman, the waiting. But this is just surrendering, and that's cute. I don't feel like there's a struggle with whatever lies beneath. That's cool. And I think the Father of Swords, the High Priestess, or the Strength energies or archetypes have some alter thing that helps them through that. But speaking of that, I can say the Knight of Cups may not. And it's at the center of the reading, where don't girl, they have a higher power or duality and a knowing of when to say when, to use grace and, to tame that ego. This is taming. This is taming. This is controlling. And this is less powerful than what's in the environment. And saying that out loud, I don't know if I like that. If the heart is the center of the matter, and it seems like the things in the environment have more clarity, hopefully it works in your favor, where you're surrounded by all things that you need in this big world. That's a good thing. But if emotions and love or the offer itself isn't as strong as the other aspects of this situation, that could be challenging. I'll say that. Not the worst that could happen. Okay, we're going to work through it. Definitely going to work through that. Now, potentially the opportunities or outcome based on the conscious mind or the, as above sort of energy. Just talks about, once again, an embrace of some sort. Tolerance, which wasn't here, or in the present. There's a balance of, the capacity that the ego has to be stubborn and irritable or alpha, aggressive and controlling, with this grace and tolerance and the opposite of all of that. These two energies could, that's a little bit of advice, even though Spirit said to focus on the potential outcomes and not so much advice. It's a blending of things, and that's super dope. And I feel like it's through love. So if there are any challenges with you and another person, or you toward a mystery, your life journey, life itself, soul purpose, whatever, the blending of those opposites, kind of like temperance. And maybe that's why we got the 2 cups, because temperance is doing some things, and some of us deep down are waiting for those things to be done. Even if in the present moment we are standing our ground, there's still a waiting period, or there's some waiting. And it would be cute if it's like everybody in this situation, and I understand how it feels if it's just one. Right? It's a sword here. So if you want to get cut down or cut something out, there is all that you need. There's some tools here to do that. And for some of you, it's like, how many times has that been done? We choose over and over and over and over and over. Look at all these cords, and I don't think they've ever been cut. So when we start talking about cycles, this here, just now in this moment, is telling me, like, what lifetime have you ever just separated seriously, or could? And for some of you, I can understand how challenging that could be with these major arcanas and this deep, like, as above, y'all merged and all kind of stuff. It would definitely be great work to do that. And it reminds me of when I first started doing the channel, or just getting really serious about coaching and exploring like quantum, Reiki, metaphysics, etc., where I told people, when you get these folks that talk about cord cutting and all that kind of stuff, it don't work like that. And I was so pleased to meet a very popular guy. I forgot his name, but if I knew it and I said it, some of you probably know him, where I watched one of his seminars on YouTube, and he said the same thing that I just intuitively knew as a newcomer with no experience and no research and no backing, but my own connection to spirit and my observation of being removed from cycles. It takes something outside of this realm to manipulate or transmute something outside of this realm. Can you see the cords or connections that tie you to people? No. It may take something else you can't see to do that. One, a divine being. Two, your own thoughts, choices, actions, what's in your subconscious mind and deep down in your heart. So the practical, I just ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna sit over here and I'm gonna focus on my journey. Yeah. But subconsciously, stuck on it. In your heart, a little bit still in there. The core there. And that's why meditation, prayer, having a higher purpose, or that intertwining of spirit or your soul's companion who can help with those type of things. Because I don't care if you catch an international flight to Shanghai, if that's a place. Them people can't do nothing without an invite and a big homie or something on the other side. Not gonna hold you. So that's why I took to this particular reading with compassion and understanding, because honestly, my first impression was someone that could be kind of caught up on a separation from a person, and you know better, but it just ain't out your system. We never really talk about that. It's either they coming back, fuck them, I don't want them, or I'm over it, I'm da. You know how we do. We all kind of listen to the same people. Or as a collective, that's just something I've observed, that you guys are very smart. You pick up fast. You over the narcissist. You ain't dealing with Kojak and Cujo and Jenny down the block or whatnot. I get that. But energetically, let's all admit and be honest that sometimes when you stumble upon a video and you hear certain things, that person still comes to mind. And then the reader has the audacity to say, whoever came to your mind, is what they consider when they're doing the reading, your person. And then you like, why they keep popping up in my energy? So don't block me though, because don't worry about them. We just gonna focus on us. A lot of you are doing that, and some of you may have interest in mysticism, in the esoteric kind of interpretations of life or tarot. It talks about your determination and grace and courage, which is the potential for success and or outcome. So some of you harnessing this inner power and resilience is how you get this success, confronting your fears, which came through possibly surrendering first. Okay, setting healthy boundaries is here. I don't care who connected to me and popping up in my mind or is my person. In real life, we setting healthy boundaries, because like I said, both or one of you just really ain't tolerating, I'll just say that to not use like a negative word. They're not playing games. Nobody here really wants to play a game. So if you thinking about a person who plays games, you could be right. Two things are true, because I did see the Two of Swords with this High Priestess. Two things are true. They may be playing a game from your perspective based on their behavior, but please believe, if I were sitting talking to them, they would tell me about a game they feel like you played or are playing. And I, as an observer, could comprehend and understand where the both of you are coming from equally. I would agree with you and say, yeah, they playing games. And then just trying to be open when they tell me, well, this is what I think of them, if it makes sense, which if I take their perspective, it should. Got it. It happens. But in an intimate situation, people are less likely to take on the perspective of the person, because it's like, I'm in my perspective trying to get you to understand something. And then you in your perspective not understanding me. Now I know as Pisces, we sometimes do straddle that fence with, well, I can see where you're coming from. Now see where I'm coming from. And they like, nope. Or somebody dealing with a Pisces is like, I just don't get you. Even when you explain to them with receipts, XYZ, element, or P, how you don't get it. It happens like that. Comprehension levels, how people comprehend and what they choose to see or not see. But outside of like a relationship or another person, just harnessing your inner power, overcoming fears, and taming that beast. Because again, this is about taming. This is about taming. This has feminine energy involved. This does too, but the taming of the beast, I feel like, is more masculine. Cultivating compassion and empathy for oneself and others. That could turn this around. That could. And now I did say something about an email. So if you have somebody blocked, you may receive an email, or maybe you block their email. I don't know. Some of you, there may be some individuals that are stubborn, possibly both alphas, egotistical. I don't know. But the communication wasn't communicating, or it's taking a while to happen. You may be watching videos like Love and Returning. They're going to reach out and you like, when, where, and what? So there's that. But yeah, asserting boundaries, embracing resilience, and connecting to your inner wisdom, as well as spiritual empowerment, is ultimately the journey. This is above. This is, I don't want to say before incarnation, but this is what could be a reflection or a mirror effect, because the Father of Swords also has that mirror effect. When we talked about where narcissism potentially came from in the folklore of Greek mythology, and Narcissus or whatever, who looked into the water. Now, for some of you, they ain't looking to the water, they look into the cup. So hopefully there is some internal self-reflection. That's dope. That could turn this around too. All right, go on and look into that water. But for some people, according to their storyline, that's the one thing that made him fall in love with himself, and he was self-centered. Getting that confidence, feeling accomplished, having peace, harmony, and balance by yourself can sometimes make you appear that way. And it takes something outside of you to kind of guide you through being compassionate and stuff toward others. So that could be you or them. So I get it. Okay, definitely get it. Now, in the physical, we have like, that's in the pretty much the second row, where it talks about like physically, what's happening outside of the conscious and subconscious. You got a lot of cups, and then you got Gemini. Even though a lot of readers kind of connect, and I have too in the past, the Father of Swords with Gemini, I do believe, according to like traditional tarot, that's Aquarian energy. And I was like, what? No, ain't no way. But anyway, partnerships, harmony, mutual love, and respect, beginning of a deep emotional bond or a reconnection with the loved one. For some of you in the physical, that's what's happening. Now with the Two of Cups, that is Venus. Venus is doing some things. It also represents Taurus season. So we're talking about April 20th through May 20th, and or could be dealing with Libra, September 23rd through October 23rd. That's what we got for the Two of Cups. If this is past, some things that could have happened last month, some things that may happen this month or last year. Or like I said, Venus, Taurus, Libra energy, and the Two of Cups. You have the Knight of Cups here, which is Pisces, in the center of the reading, the heart of the matter. I love that. What if you are the center of someone's heart? or spirit is trying to get your attention and tell you something about the heart. I like it either way. The planetary association is with the moon, so I love that. It has this gracious high priestess up here, okay, with that intuitive moon-like energy. Love that. The Son of Cups is cool. I ain't gonna lie, it's cool, cute, charming, and all that kind of stuff. And like a Pisces. But again, and I won't say but, I'll say however, in traditional readings, in esoteric teachings, I've seen the Knight of Cups to be the most destructive somebody in this whole suit. Like, more than the Knight of Swords, more than the King of Swords. The Knight of Cups, if upset or imbalanced, is a very destructive individual. I don't see destructive here because there's humility and grace and finding peace through the mysteries, okay? Or whatever isn't moving the way we want it to. All right? Where it talks about those of you that may have come here and it's like, well, I'm not resonating with a lot of that. I will say some of you could have a connection to entertainment, content creating, something online, because you got the World card with the Son of Cups, and then you have Strength here. So it's like entertainment or something like that, some sort of creativity. I like that. The Father of Wands, or that Leo energy, sometimes points to a creative artist. That's cool if that's for you. Now I love that it's giving me that water, alchemical symbol for, the downward triangle. Now upward, where it talks about fire, might need some work there. And I say that because here is Hangman energy with the Ten of Cups and the Son of Cups. So just kind of be mindful of that. But I do like that though. It's not horrible. Dynamic energy, ambition, and focus. Some of us incarnated focused on love. I'm not gonna hold you. You reincarnated to like catch up with their ass. Not gonna lie. Pursuing love and emotional fulfillment with courage and determination, and it represents the time of a romantic pursuit and creative endeavor. So that's why I said I know I felt that creative endeavor thing, but then also following your heart's desire and embracing adventure. Okay, may be important. That's the journey, which could be challenging and is at the heart of the matter. Is pursuing love and emotional fulfillment. Here's fulfillment. Here's pursuing fulfillment. But then there's also the heart's desire, and where we talk about love and passion, creative endeavors. I love that because both of these energies are very romantic. You see, he pulled up, baby, with a rose, and he pulled up with a cup. But for some of us, the expectation, we got 2 cups and 2 roses. So who else said in their mind just now, where the rest at? Hello? Look, hello? And what did I say he said? I forgot. What did he say? Dang it. I forgot. That's cool. But when I said it, I don't want to say unintentionally, but when I said it, it reminded me of the type of person who said that. And it was just ironic that we are in this, somewhat air energy right here. That was crazy. Dang, I wish I could say it again, but I'll say that one. Hello? What did he say? Huh? I can't. Oh my God, I'm so tickled. I'm sorry. Let me focus on what's going on here. So then we got another major, right? And like I said, the most interesting thing was the way the cards had originally laid out. I only saw one bird. They gave me the mind frame of the lover card in the archetype, because it didn't say lovers and it only had one swan. So we'll dig into that. Choices, decisions. You already know that. The Lovers is Gemini energy, crossing our King of Swords with the Two of Cups. Gives me discernment and something about decision making. I don't want to mess it up because I think that's general. And if you allow your intuition and be patient and listen for the whispers, you'll get whatever that means for you. It's also connected to Mercury, and this has a timeline of May 21st through June 20th. So here we have April to May. Here we have May to June. Something happening now. We got recent past, we got future. So something that was working out, and then something that we have where there's some sort of choice, discernment, or decision involved in it. That's interesting. It may have something to do with an offer. Okay. That's cool. And it's like something that you may be anticipating or have some sort of inner feeling or knowing about. And it's like, I just know it. I know they're going to come around. I know they're going to come back. I know something. Somebody knows something. Harmony, balance, and the choice. Relationships and partnerships. Once again, surrendering to the process of decision making and integration, finding union and connection with others and oneself. Your companion could be your higher self. You wondering like, what is a soulmate? I'd be like, I think it's the Holy Spirit or some sort of, unseen physical manifestation of God itself. And then you have people that aren't religious and don't believe in all that would just say it's an aspect of you. All things are true. I can see that in each one of these ways. So ultimately in the future, overcoming adversity and challenges, surrendering to the process, which you learned how to do that in the past. And that's what brought you some sort of harmony and balance, was surrendering. Harnessing inner power to overcome obstacles is something you learn in presently. So you learned how to surrender, then you learn how to overcome. I think that's pretty dope. Now I just skipped all of them to look at these 10 of cups, but I'll just say when it comes to like the 10s and we talk about cycles and stuff like that, we have change, we have destiny, again, surrendering to the natural flow of life, endings and beginnings, finding acceptance and embracing the ever-changing nature of existence. So at least one of you or both of you do accept that. I don't see a death card. I don't see a over. I will say sometimes the world could indicate that things go cold as soon as they get hot for some. If this is about like an online dating thing or a repetition when it comes to situations, they be over as soon as they start. And somebody may have some anger issues or their approach got something to do with it. Not gonna hold you, won't even say it's you, so don't get offended and be in denial, because we're all growing here. We don't really do denial and stuff like that when we're growing, because that's not the best idea, right? How do we grow? Yeah, so I do I love all of that. The concept of soulmates and partnership within itself, some of us are going to the drawing board with choice and responsibility. So here's incarnating onto this planet, and then some Gemini like Kanye pissing you off, or Aquarius moon like me saying it was a choice. Because I've experienced some things and I've heard a lot of things. I know y'all read and watch as much stuff as I do, and those people who say we chose to come here. I even heard one interpretation of life flash before our eyes and we got to see it all, and it's a higher aspect of us that said, yeah, I'll do it. And I'm thinking to myself, I respect these people and all of their accreditations and licenses and their perspective, but I know me through and through, and I feel like I'm connected to my higher self, and we the same, but we different. I think my higher self is a little smarter, a little sweeter, a little more patient. But we in unison with all aspects of us. And we would have unanimously said no to that shit. I think we would have. I doubt that my physical self that's sitting here talking to you dominates all aspects of me, and the other aspects would not have been in alignment with me saying fuck that, right? So I trust that perspective is subjective. When they say you saw it all, and you chose, trying to hype us up and motivate us to, we can get through it because you already seen it and you said you could do it, so let's smash. That sound good. I like that. It's real coachy. But the gag is, I know me good, well. I know me well. I ain't done that shit. So there could be a bigger mystery, right? A deeper meaning. Yeah. As with Kojak, Cujo, and Jenny from the block, they get on your nerves, but deep down inside, it's something unique about the situation. Surrender to it. Okay, I ain't finna play with it. I'm setting healthy boundaries, but ain't no love lost. Whatever. We come back to sacred unions with the lovers, and coming back to, once again, balancing masculine and feminine energies, integration and transformation, which I love. When spirit finds you and connects with you, that is the trifecta, and it is super intelligence, where your heart, your soul, and your body are one. When you reach that upper level, your mind, body, and soul will one. Right? Remember that? Divine guidance for some of you is an outcome in the physical, for the future. Assistance on the spiritual path. Having the courage and bravery to reach out, your network, your collective, and your community. A higher purpose for some of you. Thank you. I love. I ain't leave none of it out. But just as strong as there were soulmates or twin flames in separation, I felt that deeper, higher energy that some of you may have. I don't know if all humans have it. That's why I've been trying to put us all in a group, saying every human being has a counterpart or an unseen higher being of itself or whatever. I don't know if everybody got that, so I can't speak for all of us. That's why I just give the messages, and there are many here. Everybody ain't here to be entertainers. Everybody ain't here with anger management issues. Everybody ain't here with surrendering to just not getting something. Everybody here ain't, and maybe not thinking about caring about no twin flame. I don't know, but the message is clear. So most of us are. Okay, I'll say that. Even if some of us are not. You may be changing the way you choose. They may be changing the way they choose. And I like that. Ain't no wrong with that. So then Pisces is here, right? Here go Pisces. Energy doesn't have to mean you, Pisces, but it may be. We have subconsciously, we have the past for some. And or the surrendering of the past, which kind of like gave us some balancing room to not go crazy. And we have moon phases that are coming up too. I know the Hangman talks about surrendering, letting go of control, gaining a new perspective, and embracing change and sacrifice. I feel like the Hangman also connects with Judgment and the World card. Well, not the World card, but the High Priestess with the twos, right? Heightened intuition, inner wisdom, balancing opposite forces and choices. Opposite forces and opposite choices. Because I'm going to do what I want to do. But how the lovers choose is different. One is physical, one is spiritual. One is in the heart, One is outside of them, one is inside of them. So what you gonna choose? I tell you right now, I'm gonna choose the one inside of me, because that one ain't leaving and we locked in. Outside of me, baby, that's hit or miss. It might be them chords and connections that got something to do with the algorithm of the third dimension, which ain't like my bread and butter, but we're here. Okay. Making a decision based on an inner knowing. Ooh, so some of you, we might tap into that in the love reading, because this was just a general reading. But again, I ain't gonna lie to you, intuitively I thought about two people in separation. So maybe this is that love reading. I won't take that away from y'all, because that is what it was initially. But then this lion kept looking at me, and then the high priestess is looking over here at this, but then the Son of Cups is looking at the choice, and the Father of Swords is like the Hangman, the only two, well, with the Strength card, facing forward. So who's looking forward? Who's looking back? These are looking forward. She's looking back. This one's looking ahead. There's a choice possibly ahead. One choice. Maybe that's why that bird was covered up. There maybe not be multiple choices. I don't know. That ain't got nothing to do with that. Okay. But yeah, the multiple of twos, High Priestess and the Hangman is what y'all got here. The multiple of threes, because 1 and 2 is 3, talks about creative collaborations with fertility. Okay, that came out wrong. Fertility and creative collaborations. Establishing the structure and authority, which is where some of us set healthy boundaries, surrendering to a period of introspection and spiritual growth, and finding balance between nurturing and discipline. This is nurturing, this is discipline, and I love that. I don't know how the Hangman connects to fours, but with the Emperor, it still talks about the process of transformation and self-reflection. So I think that's pretty dope. Where the sixes with the Lovers talk about the harmony and balance of the choice, but like the Hangman, surrendering to the process. So there's a lot of energy talking about surrendering, and for others of you, it's about finding union and connectedness. I like that. It's kind of cool. So now, like, the only court card here is the King of Swords, which, traditionally they would say represents a person. I'm not going to take that away from nobody. So this archetype or energy as a person is an authority figure. Maybe that's why the Emperor energy is coming up. They're intelligent, or there's some sort of intellect and a mastery of the mind. I do love that. Rules with logic and reason. Making decisions based on careful analysis and clear judgment. I told y'all the Judgment card energy was here. Look at that. The King of Swords encourages you to trust your intellect and intuition, but this, again, may be in a challenging position, or for some of you, it's just what's happening presently. And it asks you to wield your power with wisdom and compassion as you navigate through life's challenges with grace and dignity. Here's grace. I don't know, maybe this is the dignity. So we do got grace and dignity. So some of you, it's just navigating through life, trying to find peace and love. And how do you do that? Well, it starts with you and your approach and your perspective. How you gonna respond to things? Is it gonna take you down? Because the Son of Cups traveling through the world with his heart on his shoulder, that's dangerous. Which leads to destructive energy, heartbreak, all kind of shit. So this energy surrounding you saying, hey, trust your intuition. And when it don't make sense, yield and surrender to the mystery. Keep your balance. Control your emotions. Move forward with your heart, because if you don't, you're going to act out if you can't. If you can't have something you like or you love, you ain't fucking with it. If they say, no, do what's right, you're going to say, no, I want to do what I want to do, or you be logical and practical, and you're going to be like, what? I'm going to go with what I feel. The King of Swords is like, that's cool if that's how you want to go about it, but take responsibility for whatever that comes with, which should tame your anger, because you chose that. You went against or went with your intuition. It's the outcome that came. Boop, boop, boop. Chill. And, it's all there. So I think that that's kind of cool. Subconsciously, somebody's being logical. That's what's up. I think so. Consciously, there's this inner knowing, though, that tickles the heart a bit. So that's a first. Usually it's people having all the answers consciously, right? Knowing exactly what they want. I'm manifesting. But then you hear subconsciously, that's where we manifest from. And when the math ain't mathing, it's saying that subconsciously, your subconscious ain't in alignment with that shit you think going on off top. But in this particular situation, it's like the subconscious, cool. It's the heart and the inner knowing, which that's kind of deep. That would talk about the soul level, because through your wisdom, your experiences, your intelligence, you have mastered some level of the mind. That is dope. For some of you, have even gotten a grip on the emotions, and that is admirable, since I'm mostly talking to Pisces, and getting a grip on those emotions, people try to say, is our issue. Right? So that's kind of cool. But anyway, yeah, I've never said that before. I had it come from the reading where subconsciously everybody kind of cool. That's what's up. I like that. Y'all come back, keep coming, so I can say stuff like that out loud. All right. So then lastly, I like that the last card to come out talks about, and as this, I don't know why this car horn is blowing this damn late at night, because y'all have no idea what time it is right now. And I said the last cup, kind of like the people in the church saying, damn, she said we could get up and go. And then you know how they feel. Like, all right, as we close, and everybody start getting excited. Anyway, the last card coming out, being the 10 of Cups, is kind of cool because it symbolizes happiness and harmony. So something in the past, in this physical life that happened, is embedded into the memory or the subconscious. That could be tricky, because it may have worked out one lifetime, but is it working out this one? And then some of you, there's this activation of an inner knowing when it comes to your abilities, your gifts, and whatever you're trying to do, because you've done it before and you were pretty good at it. I think that's cool. Now, what I don't like is being stuck in the past, when in another dimension, in another lifetime, you was a rich celebrity or you was married to that person, and this lifetime you ain't experiencing that, and they ain't that same person. That's the kind of shit that you gotta have to rewind this whole reading and listen to what spirit has as far as like decision making and acceptance and timing and grace and all that, and completing cycles to not loop, and finding peace and harmony even through it all. You're gonna go back, definitely listen to all this again, because that is torture. And they even put it in the movies and stuff where people reincarnate. Sometimes they remember each other, sometimes they don't. But in one lifetime, one movie I was watching, and I think I told y'all about it, but in another scenario, they kind of tried to spin off like Charm. But it was a woman, her 2 daughters, and then her sister popped up. They had the 9 lives. Her sister was like a cat lady. I don't know if y'all seen that movie. But one of the daughters had a soulmate, where in this life she was about to marry a guy. He wasn't what that was, and anybody with good goddamn sense would have told her that, but they let her date him and start preparing for the marriage anyway, right? So then his brother came to the reception, and she was like, I dreamed about him last night. And they was kissing in the bathroom, child. So long story short, come to find out, the brother is her actual soulmate in the most challenging relationship every lifetime. Out of 27,000 motherfucking lifetimes, it wasn't but 2 times they actually had a good time. And that's her soulmate. They keep reincarnating. They can't stay away from each other, but it's so hard to stay together. And they always offbeat. And that's kind of like Prince Charming and Snow White. They always find each other. And in Once Upon a Time, I think that was a lifetime where it was cool, because one lifetime they was kings and queens, another lifetime the evil mother still separated them, and it's just always some goddamn shit. And then his name is Charming, okay? He's like, I'm gonna find you in every lifetime. So that's some sweet, deep stuff. That is source, spirit, God, the manifestation of the life force, breath, Holy Spirit, whatever, going to the chosen one saying, I'm gonna find you every time. And I hate to be a B word, but I would whisper to spirit and say, why does it keep being every time? Like, why do I keep coming here? Why we gotta keep doing this? What is the point? I think like that, but we ain't gonna go there. I'm just gonna stick with, it's very sweet that we reincarnate and somebody looking for somebody. Spirit find you, you find spirit. The person looking for you find you, you looking for them, you find them. As challenging as some of the things could be, and excruciating and unrealistic or confusing as the shit is, it is, which is why it's good for movies and stuff, but it's sometimes not the same to experience. So anyway, deep emotional bonds and cultivating love relationships with others, a time of harmony and unity where you may feel deeply connected to your loved ones and experience a sense of belonging, which for starseeds, or many of you that I've read comments in the chat, that's impressive, to find your collective and actually feel like you belong. Some of you, a person honestly deep down inside in their heart, as stubborn as they are, feels very comfortable with you and knowing that, okay, they the one, whether I act on it or not. And that's interesting. But yeah, so that is that's what I got there with that. And I definitely appreciate all of you for tuning in. Until next time.